It is another scorcher, let me tell you. Man, it's a scorcher. I don't want to vamp too much. We do have a lot to get to again. This is our part 2 of our Summer Game Fest Play Days recap. If you haven't been listening or paying attention to social media or anything about us, and for some reason this is the first episode you've clicked on or stumbled upon, Mike and I just got back from Summer Game Fest. So we are back in Massachusetts. Flew back from LA earlier this week. We got to play a bunch of things. We recorded part 1 of our recap already. So if you're looking for us talking about games like N plus Infinity times 2, Escape Academy 2, Super Ukulele Kart, Slap Out of It, Lazy River, Bub, and Screenbound, you're going to want to listen to the episode before this. I'm not going to list all the things we plan to talk about here, because depending on how long the episode runs, we may end up doing a third episode with our recaps. So we'll get to them as we get to them and keep running through the stuff that we had a chance to play and watch. But before we do that, welcome everyone to the Pass the Controller podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Summer Game Fest too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden, and joining me on this lovely Friday evening is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you tonight?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Hot as can be. It is a scorcher, as we said at the top. We'll get right into it, but before we do that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. The PDC Movie Club pick for May, which we are now behind on, is Dom's pick, and it is That's My Boy. So if you're looking for that, we'll put that episode up soon-ish. We just haven't recorded it yet because we're at SGF. I don't know what the PTC Movie Club is for June, so apologies, because Todd has not told us what his pick is for June. So
to be fair, we haven't around.
Yeah, just start watching movies, I guess, and maybe you'll get the right one. Watch a movie that you think is Todd's pick, and then be mad when he picked something else. Other than that, this episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is or a chubby, check them out on social media at Good Morning Chubby and at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. Other than that, like I said, we've been putting up all different types of Summer Game Fest content. There's some social videos on our Instagram and Blue Sky and YouTube channel you can check out. There's obviously going to be a slew of podcasts. Mike and I were on the watch along for the Summer Game Fest showcase over on Game Informer, so definitely head over to Game Informer and check out that VOD if you missed it live, or even if you watched it live and you want to watch it again, go check them out, show them some love. There will maybe be some additional written content. I put up a small thing about Stranger Than Heaven. We'll also talk about Stranger Than Heaven on one of these podcasts at some point, so you can check that out as well. But without further ado, let's just get into it. And I kind of like what we did last episode, last recap, which was we just kind of went back and forth. So I believe you went first last time, Mike. So I'll kick us off on this one. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you went first. So if you want to go first now, that's also fine.
I truly don't care.
Okay, so I'll kick things off here. I will go with Ithaca. This was a game that there were certain games in a longer demo session that we had that we were rotating through. It was like we would get X amount of time on this, and then we would get pulled to the next thing, and they were kind of just a big rotation. So this was one of the ones part of that block for us, and I feel like the amount of time that we got to play it, I feel like for me this would have benefited with maybe a little bit longer of a session, because I feel like it was obviously a very dialogue-heavy game. So essentially you are traveling to Ithaca. You are a environmental rights lawyer. You are driving in a car. You're not like controlling the car, at least not that I saw. You're not controlling the car, but what you are doing is interfacing with things in the car as well as like your dashboard to text message people, call people, and do other things. Not everything was available because this was an earlier build of the game, but it seems like you're going to have kind of a slew of things to be doing and people to be interacting with as you're on this journey. Um, the music and voice acting that was there was fun. I did enjoy what was in the build that we played. No, I don't think everything was voice acted in the slice that we played, but it seems like in the full game that will not be the case. I like the concept. I like the idea of it. You are earning like gaining experience and earning points to level up your character. I believe the character's name is Penelope. So you are like rolling to get, well, not rolling, but you are increasing stats on certain different things. I forget what they were. If they were like charm, and I think it was 3 or 4 things. So it would help you in choosing to like how you responded to someone, and depending on your stats would increase your odds of like a successful kind of encounter. And I liked that a lot. It seems like according to their Steam page, there's 7. Excuse me. There are 7 endings in the final game, so it seems like there's a lot of variation based on probably who you choose to interact with, how you interact with them, and maybe what stat, what you choose to upgrade in your skill tree with your stats. So definitely an interesting one. Something I'd be curious to check more of out when it's completed. Also, I think I would enjoy this game more in my home. It seems like one of the ones so there are certain types of games where I feel like I would just prefer to play them at home and not play them at a convention or at a play days or something. But I know this is the one that I played and you watched, Mike, so I don't know if you have much to add to Ithaca or if it looked interesting to you.
It did look interesting. I meant to ask, and you might have just answered it. I noticed there were certain points where the game basically said, like, hey, you've got a 50% chance or whatever percent chance to do whatever, because you'd interact with people on the phone. And I think there was some sort of mechanic where you could fail the interaction with the person, but I
Yes.
couldn't grasp what was happening. Like, it looked like there was a constellation on the screen that you had to.
So I wasn't. If there was a button press that I needed to do during those segments, I was not paying attention to that. I didn't notice that. Okay. I think it was simply a percentage chance based on your stats.
Okay.
Of like, are you going to be successful in responding to the person this way? So it's definitely interesting. I think it's doing some cool things. It's obviously, a very story narrative focused game. So if that seems like your type of jam, I'm trying to look actually. Let me see. According to their Steam page, it doesn't look like they have a release date yet, but it does look like you can request to join access to the Ithaca playtest. So you may be able to play a build of the game. I don't know if it's the same version that we had a chance to play at Playdays or not, but it had an interesting visual style. I liked what we're going for with the concept. It's one of those things I'd like to see more of at some point, to have a better idea of what they're going for and how successful they are in doing that. So, Ithaca, something to check out. Wishlisted on Steam if that seems like your jam. Why don't you take us to the next one, Mike?
Let's bang out. I'm gonna say Sea of Remnants, because you know how much I love Sea of Thieves and Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
You're a big
Big Pirates guy.
You're a big Plunderpass guy. I was trying to find Plunderpass in my head.
I love the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You're just naming things now. I'm crazy. How far can you go? You taking it there and taking it further?
I think that's it. That's all my pirate media.
All right, listen, that was further than I expected. TBH. It's funny that we were now flipping between a game that you had played and a game that I had played. So this is one that you had played.
Yeah. And I will say the game, I'm going to be upfront. I think the demo I played was a bit bugged. There was a number of instances where, like, things would freeze, and I wasn't sure if the game was going to continue or crash. Like I could power through it, but or like these again small weird things where like there was voice acting and there's also subtitles. Those two things did not align at certain points. I think I was getting subtitles for lines that happened several lines ago.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
weird
curious
things
now.
like that.
I'm gonna at some point look at other people's coverage and see if they had similar issues. I mean, it's sometimes I don't know. Sometimes these things happen, especially at these types of events. Like,
Things up events, yes.
yeah,
So I don't want to hold it against. I'm just going to say these things did happen to me.
yeah, of course.
Um, but it does seem like it's an ambitious game. I didn't actually get to see there was like an aspect of the game that they talked about that I don't think I got to see, which is essentially like if you die, you like leave stuff behind, the remnants, for like a new crew to like pick up and start the journey again.
Oh,
I never saw
interesting.
that, but
Okay.
I think that's what they had mentioned to me. But essentially, you are this puppet pirate thing who had previously died. The game starts off with like a big boat battle against basically a kraken, and you're on this whirlpool shooting the kraken with your ship's cannons. You die, you come back. There's a weird doctor thing going on, and then you're basically trying to get your memories back.
Okay.
And the game flips between like turn-based combat as well as like just what do you call it?
Sea
Turn-based
combat.
combat. Well, there's sea combat too, but there's also another kind of like if you're like running around in the wilds and like you run across an enemy, you can like quick attack it and it'll just die.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean?
So yeah, just like little hacky slashies.
Yeah.
Is it a situation where if you don't attack it, then you end up in a turn-based fight with them?
Yes.
So was it could you tell, was it like, oh, this is an under-leveled enemy, so if I attack it, it will go away, but if you attacked like a stronger enemy, would you still fight them in a turn-based battle?
I think that's exactly how it
Okay,
goes.
so kind of like Persona and Metaphor, I think function the same way, right?
Yeah, yes, functionally, yeah. In the combat was like once you got into the turn-based combat was very, very Persona-ish.
Okay. Was it
Um,
was it rhythmy at all or no? Because so they showed this game. I don't remember seeing it prior to the showcase, but they showed this game off at the showcase, and like the trailer for the game was very appealing to me because it was like it seemed like a music video. Like it seemed super fun.
yeah,
But
but the combat did not
okay,
give off that vibe
okay,
to me.
gotcha.
I mean,
It didn't
maybe
need to. I just didn't
supposed
know
to
if
be
it did or
there.
not.
Yeah, maybe it was supposed to be there, and I just didn't pick up on it. Like,
Okay.
definitely possible, but I did not get that sense. But yeah, you got the turn-based combat, the regular combat, and then the sea combat, which I only got to see during that opening portion of the game where you're fighting the Kraken. But I think there's more of that in the game to be seen.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I do want to see where this game goes because I think there's a lot there. I think it could be fun.
Yeah, this is one that like we were I feel like, and this is kind of like now we're just talking about play days at this point, but I feel like Summer Game Fest play days is kind of a hard thing to crack because I feel like you like you don't initially, I mean, we don't initially get access to everything up front, and then we're basically jumping into a pool with a bunch of other people trying to schedule out a 3-day span in real time, with other people also trying to do the same thing for themselves. So we're trying to fill up a schedule that makes sense. Obviously, leave time in between certain things so we're not just in appointments all day. So we can, eat, take a break, have a coffee, maybe make some social content while we're there, or like write some other stuff, or whatever we need to do, film some things, hang out with friends, grab a Mai Tai, whatever it may be. But you also need to like leave a little bit of space too, because sometimes an appointment opens up for maybe something you couldn't schedule or couldn't fit in your schedule. And Remnants was one of those things where it was like we were already so jam packed, and when we stumbled upon it on the show floor, we're like, oh, we kind of both want to check this out, but we really couldn't find a way to do it. You were able to squeeze it into yours, which I'm happy you did because, I also wanted to see it, but I'm glad one of us got to see it because it does look interesting. I think, ambitious is a very apt term to apply to it because as someone who didn't play it but has seen the trailer and watched stuff and read some stuff on their Steam page and website, it does seem like it has some interesting things that I would want to maybe play around with myself. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to Sea of Remnants or not.
Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything. I meant to look this up ahead of time, and I forgot. Yeah, we'll just call it there.
Okay. I mean, you can still look it up. I can vamp.
Feel free to vamp.
I mean, is there something you're trying to find the?
I just honestly I wanted to make sure there wasn't anything that I saw that I forgot to mention, or at least confirm that aspect of the game I was talking about, where like you basically can start a new crew with the stuff left behind from your previous crew. Because I could have sworn they said that, and I don't know where I would like verify that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But take my word for it, guys. But if I'm wrong, I take no responsibility for that.
Oh, is it a gacha game?
I didn't. If that happens, I never run into that part.
Interesting. The gacha thing would maybe.
I think that
make me
would
bounce
maybe
off.
that ties. Yeah, that might tie into that whole part where you start over again with the new crew kind of thing. But there's a gacha element that kind of sucks because I don't know. I
mean,
only
gacha games are
gathered.
popular. It's just that's just not usually my jam. I'm not usually into that.
Because granted, by the time I left the demo, I had whoever my main character was, and then I'm gonna say 1.5 characters. I think if I'd finished the battle, actually maybe I did finish the battle. I don't know if it actually said that this guy joined my crew. There's like a second person that joined, but like I was interested in the first person. Then again, I guess it could still work in a way just based off of what the story had kind of laid down. Basically, when you wake up in this doctor's, I'm gonna call him a Dr. Frankenstein. He wasn't really Dr. Frankenstein, but like he found your body and kind of brought you back to life. There was another body there that hadn't woken up yet. And when you go into town, you run into a person who looks like that body.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if that's like going to be part of the whole mechanic. Like whenever you make a new crew, they all kind of look like, I don't know, people from the past crew.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna do a little more research on and see if it is for me. The gacha thing is personally a not a selling point for me. So, but something I'm gonna at least dive a little bit more into and see if it's something I do want to play because it looks interesting. So, but and to be fair, a lot of gacha games do look interesting to me. It's just once I find that element out, I know I just don't have the bandwidth to actually play a game that is that long. Like Honkai Star Rail looks interesting, and I know people who play it and they have fun with it, but it's just such a long game. And I did play a little bit of Honkai, but I was like, it's just a long game. It's the same thing with Genshin Impact. Looks interesting and looks like I would have fun with it, but I feel like I just don't have. I play too many things and want to play too many things and have to play too many things to be sucked up by a gacha game or a live service game or whatever. Like, I feel like there are very few live service games that actually keep me around. So it would just be something I would probably bounce off of if that was the case. But speaking of ambitious titles, I feel like that's a good segue into Shot One Fighters, which this was another one that was part of that block. So I feel like we would have probably benefited from having a longer session with this game because we were both not good at it.
Yeah.
But I do like the concept of this game. So this Shot One Fighters is a 2D plane fighting game that is essentially a roguelike. So you have a branching path that you start a run and you're trying to get to the end for, whatever, for funsies or whatever the game is pushing you for. But you start with like a base move set on this fighter. In the demo that we played, there was just one selectable character, but it sounds like that the full game will have, a roster of people to choose from. But you're starting with this one character. Every encounter, you have the option to, I don't know if it was every encounter, but you could slowly build up a moveset and get other perks and rewards and stuff. So I like the idea of it. I think that it is a cool concept that, if it is balanced right and done right, I think could actually be a really interesting single-player fighting game, because I feel like a lot of fighting games, especially now, either don't really have much single-player stuff, or if they do, it's really kind of just an afterthought. Like Street Fighter 6 tried to do something a little more ambitious. I'm sure some of the other ones have fun stories and story modes, but this is really like a single player fighting game experience, and I don't feel like there's a lot that really try to do something unique in that space anymore. So it's one that I'm going to keep an eye on. I think that seeing this further through development and maybe an open beta or something later down the line would be a great way for me to kind of like gauge more of this, because again, I like the concept. We were getting rolled by a refrigerator. I don't think we were like hard stopped to that refrigerator. But granted, we only got to play a couple of times and then we had to move on, so we didn't get to really put a lot of time into it. But I would have liked to see how further down that path the game would get, especially as you're able to unlock new move sets and abilities and other perks. I believe they were called artifacts, that gave you different types of boosts and stuff. But anything else you want to toss on there to Shot One Fighter, sorry.
Shot One Fighters. Yeah, I mean, if you like 2D fighters and Slay the Spire, this just mixes both of them.
Slay the Fighter. Don't you know?
Want to give it another go?
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't. I'm just bad.
Okay. Cool. Quit while you're behind. Yeah. I think in theory, I would like it, but I also know, as a person who's historically bad at fighting games, especially 2D fighting games, I had a hard time with it. So,
yeah,
skill issue, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting concept. I really do hope that they execute on their vision, because I do think that it is something that would have potential for people who are fans of the fighting game genre, us included. So definitely an interesting one to keep an eye on if you're a fighting game fan. Where you want to take us next, Mike?
I think I want to take us to the Evershine.
Oh, okay. Let's see what Mike's time at Evershine is all about.
Evershine, which is apparently a sequel to a game I'd never heard of.
It's the threequel. It's the third game.
It's the third game.
I believe it's the third one. There's My Time at Portia. There's My Time at Sandrock, and this is I don't think there's another one. There could be, but this is the next one. My Time at Evershine. Oh, I did mean to. Shot One Fighters, according to a Steam page, does not have a release date. But again, wishlisted if it sounds interesting. Wishlist any of these games or all of them if you're interested in them.
Take a look. We might be underselling these games, and you might be like, "Oh, those idiots! This game looks like fire," and then it's on your radar. Anyway, My Time at Evershine, which I believe is only going to be on the Switch, so you're not wishlisting shit. But
no, it's on Steam. I'm looking at the Steam page right now.
It's on Steam. Oh, See, again,
I think it
what do
might
I
be
know?
on everything. Let's find out. You keep talking.
Yeah. Um, as I understand it, your character is a governor, which I don't think is actually important to what you're doing, which is running around fighting terrorists, maybe?
Listen, I'll tell you right now, we both played this game at our time in the Nintendo area of Playdays. I don't know what the fucking story was. We were like in a lab at one point, like making plants grow
In
and go away.
making plants grow, there was like a some sort of, I don't know, chemical that either killed plants or made plants grow, and then we fought like a discount Dr. Robotnik or something. I don't know what he was doing out there. I mean, God bless me. You don't see enough of these antagonists just throwing hands while like with his minions like that. First go.
Mm-hmm.
The way I kind of wrap my head around the game is almost like a Breath of the Wild slash Final Fantasy, running around in the running around in the field, just punching and slashing guys that you see out in the field because they're just standing there committing crimes, I guess.
Okay. I mean, sure.
Am I wrong?
I mean,
Tell me one way I'm wrong.
I mean, I think like in a very broad stroke way, sure. I can see you making
Okay.
some
All right.
some very
Some salient points.
sure. I'll let you. These are your words, not mine. You go off, King. You do your thing.
But yeah, it is. The gameplay is basically
It's basically Breath of the Wild and Final Fantasy. There you go. It's not.
exactly
It's really not.
little action RPG. You're running
There you
around.
go. Action RPG. Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
No, I'm going back to the first thing I said.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. This one was not one of my favorite games that we played. It's still in development. One of the whoever we were speaking to there, I believe this has a 2027-ish release date window, which that could mean a lot of things. It is, according to this website, releasing on every platform, so it is going to be on everything.
Okay.
I thought it ran fine on the Switch too. I just think that it was kind of a little wooden for me. It was not like super fleshed out combat for me. When we were talking to the developer that was there, they did make it seem like this was not like the final version of a lot of things, and you have party members coming around with you, and they did attack and stuff and did assist you, but they made it seem like that they're going to be way more involved in the final version of the game, like doing assist moves and like being able to combo things with them and other interesting things that sound great. That's just not what we played, unfortunately. They also mentioned, I don't know if the prior two games had this, but they mentioned like the sort of simmy elements of it and being able to like get married and like do these other things. So we didn't get to experience that in our demo. I don't know if you could go off and do that stuff if you chose a different path or something, but we essentially were in a bunch of encounters, ended up in like a underground lab, did some puzzling things, fought more people, fought a boss, and that was kind of the extent of our demo. Not like this game wasn't bad in any way. It just, I do play a lot of games like this, so for me my bar is a little bit higher, and I can see a fleshed out version of the game being something I would enjoy. What we played there it was just okay. It was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything remarkable for me personally, but I also have never played my time at Portia or my time at Sandrock, so I don't know fully where I would be at, maybe what to expect. Maybe if you had played the prior two games and this is a game that's still in development, you'd be like, oh no, but like it's gonna do this and maybe it's Banger Town. I don't know. So not familiar enough with the game to be fully, kind of in or out on it either way. But from what I played, it was just fine. I'd be interested to see what a fleshed out version of the game looks like, because I do like a good action RPG. I do like a game that has some, dating in it. I like those things. Maybe there's some other simmy things you can do. What else you got on My Time at Evershine, Mike? Anything?
No, I mean, we played it. Figured I should give it a mention.
Okay. I'm just looking at, so their Steam page mentions develop romantic relationships with 10 core charming NPCs, including 4 chosen by backers' votes. That must be Kickstarter thing, and experience heart-pounding moments in every interaction. Beyond romance, you'll meet over 20 unique NPCs, each with their own personality, ready to be part of your settlement. As you invite them in, you'll forge deep, lasting bonds that grow stronger over time. One of the things they did mention, again, we have not played the prior 2 games, but this they specifically chose a little bit more of a realistic looking art style, specifically because they wanted, I think part of it was the romance elements. They wanted the characters to look a little more adult, I think.
Makes sense.
Let's see. I'm going to read through some of this other stuff. So let's see. Be the leader they need. You'll be playing as the governor, Mike was right, of the Evershine settlement, recruited into the North Development Plan by the project's director. Your job will be to build up the infrastructure either by prefabs or DIY, recruit the right settlers, tame the wilds, and build your settlement into a strong presence next to the border. Along the way, you will find friendship, adventure, responsibility, and maybe even romance. We want you to leave the game feeling like you have accomplished something great together with your people in your town. So like that kind of mission statement, that like, hey, this is what the game is, that does sound interesting and fun. So, again, we got to see a very small slice of the game, and it was mostly combat driven. We didn't really do any foraging or like settlement building or any of that other stuff.
Is there a city building basically, or like that's what you're saying?
It sounds like there are elements. It sounds like there's probably things you can just like, oh, I want to build this building, and it will build it. But it also seems like you have the option to like be a little more creative if you want to like be a little more customizing. There's also multiplayer co-op. You can play through the story of the game with up to 3 other players. Together, construct the town from scratch, recruit helpful settlers, engage in battles, share romantic moments, dive into long lost dungeons, and shape the legacy of the Evershine settlement. So, another game that sounds ambitious. So, it would be interesting to see kind of what else this game ends up evolving into. But that was My Time at Evershine. Okay, well, I guess we'll keep it in the Nintendo section of Playdays, and we'll go with Demi and the Fractured Dream. Now, this one, I fucking really liked. Kind of just playing to my personal taste and sensibilities with this one. So an action game that, visually, and I heard someone else say this, so then it kind of stuck in my brain, and then it kind of just felt that way. Visually, little Wind Waker vibes. Some of the combat, some of the puzzles, little Wind Waker vibes. Like, I get on board with that. So kind of automatically, it's just getting a for me. My eyebrows going up, a little and I'm like, okay, Demi is gonna be on my to-do list, I think. So right now, the release date according to Steam is February next year. So happy birthday to me, I guess. A little Demi birthday gift. But I thought that the combat was fun. I thought that the puzzles were actually pretty engaging and fun for like a demo slice of a game. I like kind of smashed my way through this demo. I think the person who was working the game there was because I stood up. We were playing it next to each other. I was playing on TV. You were playing handheld, which I did like that concept for the setup of the Nintendo section, where it was like each area was like kind of set up a little bit differently, but it was like there would be a television set and then a handheld set, and I feel like, I don't know, it was a cool setup. I liked how it was set up. I wish we got to play more games in there, just because that the way that worked was it was a very busy area and it was like a very strict timeline. So you just it everything would have had to have been flowing perfectly and everyone moving in like a specific order for you to really see everything or play everything. At least you could walk in and watch something, but to actually play everything, I'm curious if anyone actually got to play every game in there. It just seems like that would be hard to do. But yeah, this one is one to watch for me. This is immediate. Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on this. Looks like the Steam page has a demo. I don't know if it's the same demo that we played, but there is a demo available for that. I think if you're looking for a solid action action adventure, light platforming, a little bit of puzzle situation, good combat, good puzzles. Like I said, at one point you get a feather, and you're doing it to move stuff or maybe deflect something, and I don't know. It was ticking all the right boxes for me. I was tickled playing that game. I am very much looking forward to playing more of Demi. I don't know how you feel about your time with Demi.
I actually also enjoyed it. As a person, you know me, I'm the biggest Wind Waker guy on the planet.
We know
You know,
this. There's two things we know about Mike. It's Super Mario Sunshine and Wind Waker, his favorite Zelda and Mario.
Wind Waker, quite possibly the most piratish Zelda game of all time. Am I right, bro?
Oh,
Am I right?
Shit. And you do love your pirates.
I love my pirates.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fun game. I did enjoy. I enjoyed solving the puzzles, and I mean, you basically covered everything that one could possibly say about this game. I don't think I have any unique insights to it other than pirates be pirating. This game, no pirates.
Pirating. There might be pirates. We don't know.
We don't. We didn't get that far.
We don't know, Papa.
We were still inside the big temple.
Yeah, this is one that I'm for sure gonna be checking out when it comes out. I'd like to see how the platforming evolves. I'd like to see how the combat evolves. I'd like to see how the puzzles evolve. Because if it just gets better and ramps up in unique and fun ways, this is gonna be a nice little adventure for little old Brenny boy.
Cool.
That puts the ball back in your court, Mike, if you're good on Demi.
All right. Well,
oh my god. All right,
yeah.
Mike, let's fucking play a game.
Saw Genesis, which
let's talk about
up front we did not play. It was just like a little, hey, check it out. This is the game we're gonna make.
Yeah, it is something. So if you're listening to this and you did watch the Summer Game Fest showcase, I believe that's where they revealed this for the first time. So they did show a trailer, talk about the game a little bit. We did get to see gameplay. We got to see it. We got to play it, but we did get to see more of what you did see out there in real world land.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of insight on how the game's going to flow and what things are going to be. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, Meg?
Yeah. So baseline. We'll just get the elephant out of the room. Yes, Dead by Daylight. You've got your killer. In this case, he's the judge. The whole game is predicated on the idea that the Jigsaw character in the Saw movies, I believe his name is John Kramer, if I remember that right.
I have no idea.
I know. Basically, the idea is that John Kramer was inspired by the events that take place in this game, which is 100 years prior to when the Saw movies start. So, like, roughly World War I time.
Yes. I believe they specifically said it takes place 100 years earlier.
Yeah, 100 years earlier. But, like, as a person who does not know history, there is a definitive date for World War I. And if you put that 100 years into the future, I still think that puts you early 2000s and not like, actually it might be right now.
Well, yeah, not 100 years from like 2026. I think 100 years from Saw.
Saw, exactly. I think the first Saw was like 2004. Regardless.
World War I was 1914 to 1918.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Truly an unimportant tangent for us to get hung up on,
I
but
don't know. I don't know.
I
I don't
want the
know
people to
dates off the
know
top of
that
my head.
even though we don't know history, we can look that information up.
Yes, World War II is the 40s.
Yeah,
Okay.
30, 39 to 45, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So we're dancing around there.
We try and stay more informed about the most recent world
Yeah.
wars. So
Listen, if
once we hit World War III, that's when I'll be
I
locked in. I'll be
think
like, all right,
I think we're
I should pay
kind of
attention to
there.
this.
Yeah, I think we're kind of there. Listen, if you want history, go listen to fucking Conan O'Brien podcast because he'll give you that. He'll give you that shit. He'll talk a lot of history.
Oh yeah, he'll give you Civil War. Whoop-de-doo.
Well,
That's right,
it's
Conan.
more
I'm coming.
it's more history than we can give.
Yeah.
Fucking shots fired at
Okay.
Conan.
Back to Saw. What the people actually care about, maybe. So yes, there is the judge, and then there are the accused. So presumably, the judge is if Jigsaw is getting his inspiration from this guy, presumably he's picked out these victims for whatever reason. Now, the gameplay is if you're the judge, you're in this mansion, this manor, setting up traps for the accused. And if you're the accused, you're obviously trying to escape. You've got well, there are different types of traps that could be laid out for you. What were they? I know there were like the rehabilitation things.
So you looking for the flow of a match, or
I mean I know the general flow of the match was trying to escape. Then there was that one
challenge
big
room? Yeah,
challenge room, then more trying to escape, another challenge room,
and then like a
then
final
dash to try and get out. But there were specific kind of traps that I think that could be laid out for people. What were the ones where you could like choose to sacrifice something?
Those were the rehabilitation rooms. I think there was
Okay.
also one other thing that the accused could encounter and choose to be like, oh, I get this maybe powerful item, but in return I have to sacrifice something. But I believe the rehabilitation rooms also functioned as you. I think you only go in there if you get caught by the judge. So the judge can set up like traps within, like bear traps and other things, presumably to get you trapped, pick you up, bring you to a rehabilitation room, where then you're stuck in a thing and you are gonna lose some sort of
Well,
body
you could
part or
either
something.
you could die or lose a body part or something, and then or you can just like hope that someone comes back and
And
saves
rescues
you.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you lose a body part, was it just body parts or was there some well, you could
I
definitely lose body parts which would affect the gameplay for you later on.
Yeah, I believe the three that they told us were they could like damage your leg, which would obviously make you move slower. I think
Mhm.
all of these might also impact your like health bar being smaller
Yeah,
now.
that was the thing. I think there's a health bar thing and like there's another I'm going to say insanity, but that's like a mechanic from a different game.
Yeah.
But like there was like a sanity level
Yeah,
or
there was
sort of thing.
some other thing, but I believe the three that they told us, I don't know if they're going to be more. Something to your legs so you would move slower, something to your fingers which would make it harder to even do certain puzzles, like you would actually need another player to help you do certain things, and then taking one of your eyes which would impact some. I don't know if it like I
You
don't
you
know
lose
what it
your
did.
depth perception if that's a mechanic. I'm
Yeah.
making that last part up, but yes, you could lose an eye.
So,
Uh,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, because now I spaced what I was actually gonna say.
I was gonna say, looking through the notes I took a lot of notes for this game for some reason. Um, they made a point to say that. Did you already talk about how the traps and stuff themselves are not actually based on the movies, but based on
I didn't say anything
yeah?
about that. Yeah,
So this is one of the things I thought was pretty interesting. Where this is a Saw game. It is made in collaboration with Lionsgate, but they aren't and it is technically canon, but they're not like, oh, you got to put these memorable Saw traps from a movie, and maybe there are some of those things, but they made a point of saying that the traps and things used in this game are more inspired by the era of time, so World War One era things, whatever that may mean. They did mention that the stuff that they are referential to seem to be pulling mostly from Saw 2 and Saw 5, whatever that may mean, as someone who's not a Mr. Saw.
Yeah.
I did like, and this is one of the things you brought up in the video we made. I did like that it seems, as compared to maybe most, or at least most I'm familiar with like asymmetrical games like this, the judge has to choose at certain points to put themselves in the same room as the accused, and the accused can kill them. They can hurt them. If they have weapons, they can hurt them. If not, they have fists that are obviously do less damage. But like, you have to make the choice of like, you can actually take damage and potentially be killed by them, and obviously lose if that happens, which I think is like an interesting little kind of dynamic, because from what I understand, like, in Dead by Daylight, I don't think you can kill the killer. You might be able to stun them and like whatever, slow them down, but I don't think you can actually like kill them to win.
Yeah, I don't think killing one of the, I'm sure they have a name in Dead by Daylight. You killing one of them is not like a win condition.
Yeah.
Usually, I think you might be able to pull something like that off in something like Dragon Ball Breakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but for the most part, I feel like this is a unique aspect. It's like, yeah, if the judge plays stupid, he could lose early on because the accused could jump his ass.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Like, again, horror is not super my jam. 1v3 is not super my jam. But I'm not a big Saw fan, so like, maybe people who are way more invested in Saw may feel a specific way about this. But to me, it does seem like an interesting use of this concept. It's an interesting use of like Saw, I think. And I think it's an interesting approach to 1v3. I think they're doing, who knows? Again, I'm not super familiar with Dead by Daylight. Maybe Dead by Daylight does a lot of the same shit. I don't think it does, but it seems like they're trying to do something a little bit different in that vein, and I do sort of appreciate them going for it, because it seems interesting to me. Probably not something I will play, but that's because of my own taste.
Yeah, if you asked me, hey, we want to make a video game out of the Saw franchise, this is basically what I would have pitched.
Yeah, it is a good use of that. I think this is like doing interesting things with that concept. So I don't know. Anything else you want to say about Saw Genesis?
No, I think we covered most of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it's super interesting. I think it is something to keep an eye on if you're a fan of that type of 1v3 suspenseful horror, etc. Well, that'll bring us to the next game, which I'm not gonna lie, Mike, I'm going back and forth. This potentially is my game of the show. It's a little game called Blood Dungeon, which I don't think I was prepared for how much I was going to like this game. I've played, this is developed by Messoff. I've played Nidhogg. I have not played Wheel World. But Blood Dungeon is for sure, if it is not my favorite game of SGF, it is one of them for sure, because it is essentially a Vampire Survivors-like game where it is like auto-attacking around you, whatever types of weapons and items you have. But instead of being on this like top-down plane where you're just moving around, you are 2D platforming, which I love Vampire Survivors. I've put so much time into Vampire Survivors. You have also put so much time into Vampire Survivors. Platforming is like a whole nother level of, oh, this is extremely my jam. And it doesn't add too much that makes it confusing or overwhelming. It's just a very, very good take this concept, take the way that these games function and put them in a good platforming setting. And it's not just like you're running around in a straight line left and right and platforming. You are just in like a big zone that is quite some of the there are were multiple maps. I didn't play all of them. I didn't know there were multiple ones to play at first. Because I played a bunch of runs. I want to say I played this game for like an hour. Like we played it, and the people that were next had an appointment after us were a little bit late. So like I was looking around because I was like, oh, do I need to get up? And they were like, I mean, they're not here yet. If you want to keep playing, I was like, I do want to keep playing. I would very much like to keep playing. So like the first couple of runs, I kept playing the same level. I believe it was the cave, and at one point, they like leaned in. They were like, there are other levels if you want to check them out. I was like, I do. Give me other levels. So I played 3 levels. They were all a little bit different. One of them was like a lot of underwater, which I don't am not harder. That was harder. There was one that was a lot less vertical and like sub. It was more of a straightaway, but like still had like some depth to it. But it was absolutely just a blast to play. The guns, the items, like the weapons, were all fun and fantastic. There was, you know, AoE stuff that would shoot direct. There was stuff that would blast in a radius. One of my favorite ones, I forget what it was called, but it was essentially like, I don't know if you got this when you were playing, Mike, but it was essentially like a giant harpoon gun. And
but you only had one of those, right? Like you shot, you had to go get it
you had
back.
to go get it, which I like that too. I was like, this is like it's a very powerful weapon. It's a very interesting, unique, cool weapon, but also like you gotta go get that shit, and that could be dangerous because you are trying to evade a lot of stuff, especially as the deeper you get into a run. But I really really liked it because it's just, you know, you're killing enemies, you're gaining levels. As you level up, you get a roll on a new thing, blah, blah, blah. We all know how these games work. There are chests to find that give you more stuff. Cool, awesome, I love it. Enemy designs are great. The world and character designs are great. All the characters were unlocked for this demo, or at least a bunch of them were. And they all had different, like, starting weapon. They all had different, like, some of them, you know, had some different abilities. Like, there was one character I was using that was super quick. I think it was the quickest character, and they were fun to use. But when like you moved, they like, rolled.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you used that character or not.
At a certain point, I think I did try a couple other characters.
Yeah, I played around with a few different ones. I used the like the warrior hunter guy who's naked, who is just his
That
little.
was definitely a stick hanging there,
It
right?
had to have been. I mean, it's just a little peepee just swinging around while you're running around. And I liked it even. It was even funnier to me because his starting weapon was like a sword that went around you, and I was just like, all right, this is just silly, and I love it. But like the sound design was good, the music was good. Like, I tried. I was trying so hard to remember, and like I don't know how I would remember it, but there were just like little, like some of the sound effects were just like someone going like, or like it was clearly like a voice. It was just like little things like that. It was so well done. It was very fun. Man, does this game have a demo right now? I think it actually might. I don't know if it's the same demo that was at Summer Game Fest. There is a demo on Steam right now. I'm probably gonna download this and waste more time. I would love to see how a run culminates. Bosses spawn, gets harder. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about it. John Carson in the chat asks how much like Risk of Rain is it? I only played Risk of Rain 2, which is like third person shoot skis, I believe. So I don't think I've ever played Risk of Rain 1, which I believe is a platformer, side like 2D plane. What do you got on? Because you also play Blood Dungeon, Mike. How are you feeling about Blood Dungeon?
Yeah, I am realizing now it was probably one of, if not the game that I could see myself being like, all right, I've got no place to be. If I had a chair, I'd just sit here and play it.
This is the one.
But yeah, I am also, like you said, a Vampire Survivor sicko. So I I remember playing it, thinking to myself like, "Oh, do you think I could evolve some of these weapons? Like, what do I have to get to see if any of these weapons
Ooh, I didn't
change?"
even think about evolving weapons. I was choosing stuff. Oh, I have a lot of projectiles. Oh, I'm gonna absolutely take the thing that makes my projectiles 25% bigger, and then I just got giant fucking
Yeah.
beams going everywhere.
I can't remember what all the weapons were, but I know I was, like, consciously thinking, like, "Alright, how do I optimize this?" Like, I've got a bunch of things that are, like, AoE, but I have one thing that's, shooting in a direction that I'm facing in, while also, like, something that's maybe shooting in all directions at once. Like, I was trying to cover all my bases
Mm-hmm.
and then grabbing I think there were charms. There was, like I think the charms were the things that just kind of gave me better stats on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember that right?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I also did not know. So basically, when I started playing, it was after you started playing. So the person there was like, "Hey, do you want to use the Steam Deck to play too?" I'm like, "All right, cool." So I did not get the memo like, "Oh, you can go to other stages." I just went to the same one that I saw you go to at the beginning. So I just kept
Gotcha.
playing that same
Okay.
one.
It was a good stage. I
It
was
was a
like,
good stage. I would have liked to see other things.
yeah, I was determined to try to beat it. I wanted to be like the one guy. I was like, yeah, I'm the one guy at Playdays that beat a run. Um,
And I also really liked the art style for the game too.
Art style is fantastic. It's a big hook for this game, I think. Like I think everything about this game works very well together. Like the stew of this game is a delicious bowl that I just want to slurp down. Um, there was something else I wanted to say. I'm reading the Steam page right now, and on the bottom it says mature content description. The developer describes the content like this: two possible characters are nude. It's not sexual, and they are rendered very small. 4px penis breasts. Streamer mode disables the nudity. There's also a cartoon blood that splatters around, which can also be turned off. So there you go, Mike. A 4px penis.
Damn, big show off guy.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Blood Dungeon fucking rips. Like I don't know what else to say other than the game fucking rocks, and you should download the demo. You should wishlist it on Steam. I don't think it has a release date yet, but you better believe that this is a day one for your boy, because it was one to beat. It's up there with Bub for me. If you listen to the prior SGF Part 1 episode recap, there's a couple of stars on my list of things that we got to see and play that are like the big dogs, and Blood Dungeon is for sure one of the big dogs for me. So definitely one not to miss. Anything else you want to add on Blood Dungeon, Mike?
Blodo is what I like to call it.
Yeah, Blue Do.
Blodo. No. I mean, I just downloaded the demo. I'm gonna
Okay.
check that out as soon as I can.
Yeah, I might download the demo too. I will say one of the other items I liked that we didn't talk about was I liked the fire. I don't know if you ever got the fire trail thing.
Ooh, I did like
I
Fire Trail.
like
I
that a
kept
lot, especially because like there's a lot of platforms that are like, chain walkways or like chain things to climb or ladders, and I would run back
Did you
and
get
forth.
the web?
I think one of the characters I picked started with it, but I was not good with it. Did it make a rope that you could walk across?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So I would just like, that's the other thing too that I think is worth mentioning. The platforming is not just like you climb on things that you think you'd climb on. You can just climb on the wall and the ceiling. Like you can just kind of move across all of the stuff. There's doors that lock and open with keys. Like, oh man, what a game! It's a banger. This is a banger. This is a certified banger. Like I don't know. We got to come up with some sort of thing. Like this is like a fucking a Brenny boy banger or something. I don't know. We're just. I'm so excited for this game that I'm just making shit up right now. I'm like, this is a Brenny boy banger. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll add that. We'll figure something out.
This is a. I'm gonna make just a single award, one of one, and bring it. I'm just gonna mail it to them and say this is a fucking Brenny boy banger, and they can put it on their ceiling. I don't know.
That's where you put awards.
Put it on a urinal and take a piss on it. I don't fucking know. Do whatever you want. Throw it away. I don't care. But this is a banger. This is a certified jam. Certified. I don't know. What do we got, Mike? What's a Mikey jam? What's like a Mike's Michael Desire's fucking big dog dong schlong. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. See, I know my wheelhouse. I'm not gonna try and come up with something right now. I
Yeah.
don't do embarrassment.
What's going to happen is someone is going to listen to this that's related to that game, whether it's them or PR, and they're going to be like, this guy is a fucking idiot.
Dumb. He's got mush for brains.
Yeah, he really does. But I'll tell you what, he calls it like he sees it, and he knows when he sees a banger, and this is a banger. Certified banger. Blood Dungeon. Don't sleep on it. Download the demo. Wishlist it on Steam. I'm going to buy this on like 3 things. Blood Dungeon is... Mike, I'm like... How often am I like this?
I mean, more often than you care to admit, but it is.
It's warranted.
It's warranted.
It's warranted. Okay. Well, somehow we have found ourselves at the hour mark yet again. So I think it just makes sense, unless you disagree, to just do a 3rd recap episode.
Whatever, man. I don't care.
I mean, we could do the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably bang us up to like maybe another 30 minutes.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
Okay.
I'm done with this.
Okay. So if you're looking for us to chat about Stranger Than Heaven, Control Resonant, Alien Isolation 2, Onimusha, Way of the Sword, Resident Evil Veronica, and maybe a little dash of Clutch, you can I don't know, look out for the 3rd Summer Game Fest recap episode, because we are gonna call this one here. Split it up nice. We don't want to just have these long. I mean, essentially, we're looking at if we did all of this together with the previous one. We did like a 3-hour podcast, and I don't know. We'll split them up for you, make it more digestible. But we appreciate you listening to episode 527, our part 2 Summer Game Fest recap episode. I'll keep the outro brief. If you're a fan of the show, friend of the show, tons of ways to support us. Head on over to our website at passthecontroller.io or playmoreindies.com, and make sure you check out all the things we do, whether it's the podcast, whether it's video content, written content, drink recipes, all the things we do. We're a couple of silly guys doing our thing. Make sure you show us some love. We appreciate it. If you do listen to the show, leave us a quick 5-star review wherever you're listening to the podcast. As a reminder, we do record the show live every week at twitch.tv/passcontroller. If you want to watch the live show, if you can't catch the live show, but you still want to watch the podcast, just search Pass the Controller Podcast over on YouTube. You'll find us there. I think that'll do it for this. But yeah, looks like we'll have a 3rd recap episode that you can look forward to. And just as a reminder, we said it on the last show. We'll say it again here. There are still a few other things that we are going to talk about. We just can't talk about them yet. But we did play Orbitals. We did play Star Wars Galactic Racer. And we did see maybe 1 or 2 other things. So we can talk about those things at a different time. We're not able to do that just yet. So if you're looking forward to our thoughts on those things and a few others, we will have those for you as well at a later date. But I think that'll do it for our 2nd recap from Summer Game Fest. We appreciate you. Be good to one another, and we'll see you next time.